Hey guys, welcome back to Easel Does It Studio. Today I pulled out a couple of molds that I've had for a while. I've made a few of them, but I don't know if I've ever videoed them. And because my hands are breaking out really bad again, I figured we would do some mix to mold. So I'm gonna have to kind of back down on the resin for a little bit. And I finally figured out why it bothered me so bad. We had lost power and my air purifier didn't come back on. I forgot that I had to come down and actually hit the on button. And I don't know what it is, but the air purifier does make a difference. So yeah, I mean, my arms are a mess again. So I'm just gonna have to get creative and do other things. So I have this little Lucky Buddha. So I'm going to try and do him, but I want to get a dark green. Kind of either between a jade or an emerald type of. So we're gonna do him. And then I have got this big, beautiful owl. And I have done a few of these in resin. So I'm going to mix like a lighter brown and maybe swirl some dark through it. And then depending on how they come out, I will see if we're gonna embellish him or not. So this one holds like 14 ounces. This one holds 6. And I do have some brown that I had left over. So we're gonna start with this. And I'm going to, does this one, yeah, this one has. All right, so this one here, we're gonna pretty much fill to the top, and then I'm going to switch it over. Oh, where is my bowl? I have got a bowl and it's not with my stuff. So hang on and let me grab that, guys. Okay, I had left that upstairs. So we are going to pour powder in here, and the other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try an experiment. I'm gonna put some shells down, and then I'm gonna pour some of the mix to mold over it and see if it will stay in or if the shells are gonna fall out. I'm assuming the shells are gonna fall out, but we won't know for sure unless we do it. At least I won't. So I am gonna get some powder in here. So has anybody worked with plaster of Paris? And if so, what is the difference with the mix to mold? I had one of my subscribers reach out. She does the plaster of Paris and has had really good luck. So I was maybe thinking about getting some and trying it, but I'd like to get, you know, a bunch of feedback before I invest. You know, like as far as like durability and stuff like that. All right, so let me get my scoop. So we are getting ready for another big snowstorm tomorrow, 6 to 12 inches. And then another one Saturday night into Sunday. And then another one Tuesday into Wednesday. Yippee skippy. Not really. It never fails. February is always brutal. All right, so we've got All right, so we've got like 18 ounces because I know this is going to shrink down. I'm trying to figure out which bowl would maybe be better to mix it in. And I'm thinking this one just because it is much bigger. All right, so remember we have already some of that brown powder in the bottom. So I'm gonna use this. I got this on Amazon. This one's called Mineral Pigment, but it's cement colorant is what it is. So, and I don't want to go too heavy. So I'm thinking that is, I think that's going to be a good color as I make a mess everywhere. So, and then once we pour the water, I can see what the color is, and then I can decide if we're going to add some brown. I did pull out the brown pigment and the green pigment. I know we're going to be probably adding the green for the Buddha. The brown, I pulled it out just because I don't know what we're going to be doing for color. So I might do it more like a swirl, you know, so he has dark throughout. Because the first ones I made were white and they were beautiful. So if anybody's interested in any of my demos, shoot me an email, and if I've still got them, we can talk. Obviously, I wouldn't, you know, charge full price because they're, you know, some of them are demos, some of them I'm doing, you know, like for an order or to put on my website. There's a, you know, but yeah. Okay, so I think that is good, but let's go ahead and swirl some of the brown throughout. And I don't want it to overtake, but I do want there to be a little bit of a variation in color. All right, so I think that is going to be a good mix. And let's get pouring, and hopefully I have enough. And that's the only thing when you're pouring in something like this. So I'm going to pour a little bit, and then I'm going to stop and give a little tap. Now, I do have a huge mold like this that I had tried to pour, and I was using deep pour resin, but it's a split mold, and for some reason it is, I cannot get the one bottom part to stop leaking. So I'm thinking that I'm just gonna have to, so I dumped everything out because it was leaking. So now it does have, like, you know, a dried resin coat on the inside. And I don't know. I could try and maybe peel it out, but I was thinking if I did it with the mix-to-mold, then I would have better luck. All right, so this mold is very, very tipsy. So let me see if I can get it. I don't know if it'll fit into this cup just till it sets, because this is a real flimsy mold. No, that ain't gonna work. And I'm making a mess. Mess. All right, I'm gonna have to move some stuff. And I'm gonna get this over here. I'm gonna try to clean my bottom. Yep, I gotta wipe my bottom. And then I'm gonna try to prop something up, because I am like really, really afraid if I don't prop him, he's going to flop. So let me wipe some of that, and I still have a little in here so I can top him back off. Okay. Okay. Probably a little much, but and let me I don't want to have a lot of cleanup around his toes, because that is the thinnest part of this mold. Okay. All right, I guess we'll go with that. All right, so I have got, crap, a little bit. Let me just pull out another poster mold here, and we will scrape what we can in this mold. Okay. And I'm just gonna mix up a different color. So with whatever we mix for this test piece, I'll top off with this. Move that out of the way. Put the brown out of the way. And, oops, put it in the wrong thing. I do have a bucket of water, so I figured I could put my things in. All right, so we need one of these cups, and I'm just gonna rinse these out after. All right, so we're gonna mix a green. So we take 6. So I guess we'll just fill the cup. We'll just fill this cup. And that way we'll have extra for our, well, no, I better do that separate. All right, so we'll go to, so that's about 7. Hopefully we have enough. Because it was a little under 6, if I remember right, when I measured it. So, and I did bring out some blue just in case I changed my mind. So I do want this to be a dark green. So I'm gonna start with this. And these ones I got on Amazon as well. These are oxide powders, which are still cement colorants. And I think I'm going to go a little bit darker. Because I have one, but it ended up turning out like a lighter green. And wasn't the color that I was kind of going for, but it was also in resin, so that was back when I first got back into the resin, so. All right, and then we can add our pigment if need be. So see how this is already starting to set up? And we're gonna use a bigger stick, and I need more water. Ooh. That's the worst part about having your studio in the basement, is you've got no, I got no running water, no sink, and as messy as I am, we all know I could use all of the above. I told my husband the other day, he said, I was painting and somehow I got blue paint on the TV remote for upstairs, which doesn't bother me a bit. And he goes, how in the heck did you manage to get paint on the remote? I said, I don't know. I said, well, if I had water and a sink and a bathroom downstairs, then I wouldn't get paint up here. He's like, don't even go there. We are not going there. I'm like, well, it was worth a shot. Oh. Hey, you can't fault a girl for dreaming, right? All right. Is that going to be the green I want? Let's just see if we can darken it up a bit. Oh, yeah, that's going to darken it a whole bit. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yep. You know, I always thought it was my talent is why you guys watch me, but it's not. It's my clumsiness. I know. I know. All right. I think we're going to even add a little bit more. Yeah, we'll just throw the whole bottle in again, right? You know what? Maybe we leave it swirled like that and see what we get. That might be pretty. Just add a little bit more and see if I can get a darker. Instead of trying to blend it in, I'm just gonna kind of yeah, we'll see how that comes out. Okay, so let's, and I am gonna stop because he's got the, like the earrings, you know, that hang off his earlobe. I'm hoping I can get him demolded okay. So he might not have much variation in color because kind of look like it's blended. All right, let's move this back out of my way so we don't ruin it. All right, I guess we will, let's put some shells in here and see. I'm not gonna do a lot. That one might be too, because I don't have a complete amount. All right, let me see if I can find some smaller, more flatter pieces where I don't have a ton of, because I don't know if it's just gonna get swallowed up or if it's gonna actually show through. And do a couple of those. All right, let's just go with that. And see what happens, right? Because that would be cool if we could add stuff to, you know, like chunkier stuff and not have it like get eaten up by the mix-to-mold. You know, is it gonna just cover it and we're not gonna see it anyways, is my thought. And I think that's what's gonna happen. I think we would have to sand it and, you know, then you're gonna break it because it's shells, but the woman that bought the anchors from me was asking me that if we could embed it. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Okay. So I want to mix just a little bit to finish filling that. That's going to be pretty. All right, let me just get a cup and well, even if it's not the same color, it'll be fine. This might be a little bit darker, and that's okay. And I'm using a green stick, so yeah, it's gonna be different, all right. And, you know, it'll just be a darker base. As long as it's in the brown family, I think it'll look okay. And we need some more powder. And then I'll pour whatever on this green, because that's a test anyways. This stuff is great because it is so forgiving. I mean, you can pretty much make it any consistency. I want this one to just be a little bit thicker. There we go. Because I know when I pour the green, it's gonna... All right, let's... Oh, I got a clump. I had a feeling I didn't mix that good, which is fine. We'll just throw it in there and I'll mix it. Okay, let's just throw this in. That's already setting up, so it'll just look like a sand layer under the green. There we go. All right. So we shall see. So I will bring these all up, get them washed, and I will be back in about an hour, and we will get these all demolded. And then we will see how we can embellish them. Alrighty, guys, I'll be back. Okay, guys, it has been an hour. These are all set. So let's start with this one. Oh, that came out so good. Look at that. That came out really good. No bubbles. So what I'll do is I'm going to put these all in my curing machine, and then we'll finish them off once I get the moisture out of them. But yeah, that came out so good. And there's, you know, a little bit of a line. You can see the difference, but I mean, that's nothing. We could put a little washi tape. All right, this is our experiment. And I do not have high hopes for this. Nope, exactly what I thought it was gonna do. So it just buried, yeah, it just buried the shells, which is kind of what I thought it would do. And it has one little bubble, but I mean, that's not too bad. So I don't know, I'll end up doing something with that. All right, let's do the owl first. Since we poured this one first, just gonna break off some of the little extra bits. Now this should demold fairly easy because this mold is very flexible. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. There's one little bubble there, but overall, guys, this came out stunning. So I think the only thing that I'm going to do to this when it's dry, is do his eyes and maybe color this part black. I'm gonna look at a few photos while it's drying, but I love this. This is beautiful, guys. Okay. I'm hoping my Buddha comes out just as good. Now, this mold is flexible too. I don't know that it's as flexible. All right, so we might have to kind of, oh, yes. We got a few little bubbles in his mouth and like on his eye, but he is beautiful. Yeah. So what I might do with him is just paint his little pot of gold, his beads. I do have a few bubbles in the beads and one underneath on his finger. You can see it right there. Couple on his little toes, but I might do like this robe type thing that he's got around him. I don't know though. He is just so pretty. So, like I said, I'm going to put these in my curing machine just to suck the rest of the moisture out. I'm going to, there's not much sanding on him at all. Like, this is very smooth. It's just right here. I will sand that down. I'm going to sand this down. In fact, I have got my small Dremel with one bit on it. I'm just gonna change the bit, and I will show you how I sand them. So this is just one of the finishing little finishing wheels right here. That was like that. And let me see. Let me use this one. Is that gonna fit? Of course not. All right. We're going to switch over to the bigger one, which I keep saying I am going to take my extender arm off, and I keep forgetting. So I'm just going to take my drill out, and I'll just put that in. And I got these on Amazon. These are on my Amazon storefront under extras. So if anybody's interested in those. And just pull my cart forward. And I'm going to turn this on. that's how quick it is to sand those down. And then I'll just take a brush and I will wipe them down. Now they're all nice and smooth on the bottom. There's no rough bits, no nothing. So I'm gonna put these two and this one in my curing machine for a couple of hours. And then I will come back and we will finish his little face. I'll do his beak, maybe just his toenails. And we will do a little something with his pot and his necklace. And I don't know, I'm gonna look to see if I wanna do the thing around him, the cloth around him. And if I do, what color. So I'll have that all figured out when I come back. So I will be back in just a minute, guys. Okay. So these I put in the curing machine. And then when they were done, I took them out and I covered them in a coat of the Dragon Glaze. So supposedly if you coat them with this and you make a mistake, you can wipe it off. So we're gonna see. So this is, I looked at pictures and this would be one of the, what they call horned owl. So I'm not gonna do a lot to him. It's basically going to be his eyes, his beak, his toenails, and a little bit of dark around the eyes and the ears. And that's pretty much what we're going to do with him. So this one, I'm going to do his little pot in gold, his little beads in gold. And I know from just the feng shui that I have done, if you put a Buddha on red, it helps attract money. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do his garment, whatever you want to call it, maybe in red. So this is the first one that I had done. And this was in mix-to-mold, so I was wrong. I had done one in mix-to-mold. And he came out okay, but I don't know. I just didn't like that color green. So this green definitely is much better. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with this just so I have an idea if we can rub it off or not. And I'm going to put dioxazine purple for the color. And I'm not going to put this in a plate. I'm going to just put a little bit on the coaster. And we're going to take our little spatula and we're going to spread it around. And hopefully I can wipe the excess off. Hopefully. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do here. And I think this has some dried resin on it, and it's not really working like I want it to work. Okay, so some of it is. Maybe I just need more paint. More paint, they say. All right, so let's see. We're just gonna see how this works. Because I have tried this on other things, and trust me, the paint did not want to come off very good at all. So I just want it definitely thick enough to get in there. And I'm just gonna wipe the excess off on the plate, and then I'm gonna wipe my spatula or whatever you want to call it. And we're just gonna kind of squeegee over. Okay. Let me just take another paper towel, and I'm gonna put some alcohol on, and then we're just gonna kind of wipe that down. And I know there's a lot of paint, so it might take a few attempts to kind of get the excess up. And it's not cleaning like I wanted it to. Maybe because I put the paint too thick. All right, so I'm thinking let's let this dry for a little bit, and then I can always go back over it with maybe some acetone. But I do know I want to be careful doing my other two pieces, just because I don't know how they're gonna work. Oh. Just clean that off. So I need to mix up like a yellow kind of orange ready kind of color. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, you get a little bit of red, and black. No. Green. I need green. So I'm just going to put a little bit of and I don't need a ton of any of these colors. So I'm going to take some green and some yellow, some red, and some more yellow. Just take and I'm going to do just a smidge more of the yellow. All right. So I want to do the outer part with this like reddish, orange-ish color. And I'll probably have to do 2 coats, but I mean, some were bright yellow, you know, others were like a kind of like orangey red. So I thought with this particular item, that red might look a little bit better. All right, that's looking good. So I know I'm gonna need a little bit of brown, and this is just burnt umber, which is a really nice brown. And I know I need a little bit of black for the center of the eye. Ooh, way too much. That's what happens with these paints. All right, let's get the black pupil in. And then once I'm happy with the color, then when I seal it, I'm just going to use like a spray varnish to seal it. And that way there, it's going to give it a nice glossy finish. All right. Oh, I got the black. Let's do his beak. Okay, and his little claws. And I'm just gonna kind of do the underneath part. And that way it will look like his little claws are kind of hanging over. And I'm trying to make sure that I stay in frame, but yet I have something to rest my hand on. Because I always like get stressed out when I'm trying to paint on camera because I think I have to go fast. So I'm just taking my time and getting those in there. All right. And his eyes look like they were, you know, fully painted, but let's just put a second coat to make sure. Okay. So I'm going to take a little yellow and a little bit of green, more yellow than green. Because I want to go over the red that's there. Just giving it a hue of another color. You see how it lightened it up just a little bit compared to this one? Just kind of, it tones it down, but it also gives like a little bit more of like a shimmer of, there's a little bit more something going on in there. Yeah, I think that looks good. And I think I'm going to use this flat brush because I just want to kind of dry brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really water down that acrylic paint. And I'm going to wipe it, and then I'm going to pick it up on just one side. And we're just going to kind of go around that edge with that very just watered down color. But see how it's giving that little tiny bit of dimension? Just by adding that watered down color. So that way you don't go too dark, but it gives that little, a little bit of difference. Just gives just a hint without going like excessively dark. And so we definitely want to do his ears because their ears are definitely a little bit darker. than the rest of them. I mean, you could go over the whole owl with this, like, it's called a wash, basically. So I think I'm just going to give him just a little bit of brown throughout, you know, without going overboard, but giving him just that little bit of you know, just something. Because they are multi-tonal. Because I think there's certain areas that he's just a smidge too light. And this is definitely definitely helping with just getting that little bit of difference in there in the wings. So a lot of times, like, I will do this like over a black and white painting. I'll just make like a thin wash, and that way there you can kind of add a little bit of a color when you really don't want to add much of a color. And I'm going to take a little bit more of that brown and put it in the water, just for his feet. Because his feet kind of have a little bit of a different hue to them. And there we go. Now we have got our little owl all cute without overdoing like the whole thing. So where is that coaster piece? Now that that's dried a little bit, let me see if we can. I'm going to try the alcohol first and see. All right, so let's try some acetone. So it's working a little better. Ow. Should have put gloves on to do this. But, you know, when do I ever do anything the way I should, right? But I know I've had, you know, like different people ask, you know, how do you do this? And I'm like, well, I haven't really done a whole lot of it, so why not do a live and kind of see what happens, right? So it's not perfect, but I don't mind the little bit of that purple that is kind of showing through, because it's not, oh, and I got red somewhere here. So yeah, I better put this down because I ended up getting red paint all over me. Let me grab a wipe. Because I'm going to be using some red on the booter, and I'm really nervous because if I get it in the wrong spot, I know what's going to happen, and I'm going to be mad. Gosh almighty, guys, I got paint everywhere. All right, so we've got 2 of the 3 done. Let me take my gold. Let's see. That's the fine. And this is the flat. So I'm going to use the fine first. And let's try and do his little beads. And I know they're not going to be perfect because there are a couple of them that have bubbles in them, but we'll do the best that we can. Oh, and that bubble actually worked out that I could paint it, so it won't show as much. Well, that was a good accident. You know, and that's the other thing about having something handmade. You know, there's gonna be flaws because we don't have the manufacturing and all that happy good stuff that they, you know, when you're buying stuff from a company. And I think that's what makes them more unique. Okay, so we've got his little beads, and I'm going to use this to go around the edges, and then I'll probably go in with the flat tip because it will, I think, cover a little bit better. And I'm not getting really close, like to his fingers. So before I put these in the in my curing machine, I brought them up and showed my husband. And you got to know my husband. I'll show him something and he'll go, yeah. And sometimes it irks me, and I'm like, really? Can you just tell me if it looks all right or not? And so I brought these up, and he's like, oh, I really like those. Those came out good. I'm like, really? So yeah, so I guess he really liked the owl and the Buddha. Oh, I guess I'm going to be able to finish it with this. It's actually going better than I thought. Yeah. You know, and I'll probably have to do a second coat. Okay, we got that done. That looks good. Oh, I wanted to do his earrings. All right. So, do I just do the lobe, or I think I'm just gonna do this part. You know, kind of like it's going around his ear. I don't know. Alls I know is Buddhas and elephants are my jam. I love, love, love them. And I love all kinds of Buddhas. I actually had a different style, and I was going to do the two, but I was afraid I would break her head off because she is a little bit difficult to demold. And I was like, yeah, no, I really don't want to do her and then break her head off, because that just would not be cool. So I tried to stick to ones that I knew I could get out of the mold. So I was gonna do his thing in red, but I don't know. I think I'm going to stop because I'm afraid that I won't like it. And I don't want to get like red everywhere, because red is going to be a hard color to clean up. So yeah. And these are the Let's Resin Chrome markers. And I absolutely love these. I don't know. I think we're just gonna leave him like that. So yeah, if you guys want me to go live, put in the comments what you would like to see me do on a live. You know, whether it was a resin piece or mix to mold or just a Q&A. And let me know like what time everybody would like me to go live. That way there I can kind of go by the census, because I would like to start doing more lives. That way when I am doing something like this and, you know, I need advice, you guys would be there to help me. Okay, so what do you think? I think we're going to leave it because I'm afraid if I do too much, it's going to take away from the piece. I really do. So, and then I was like, do I just kind of maybe do some highlights of the gold on his gown? But I don't know. I suppose I could do a light wash, but no. We're gonna just call it, and I think I'm just gonna leave him like this because he is so cute. And I will just highlight his eyes a little bit. Well, the crease in his eyes, I should say. Yeah, I think he's cute like that. Alrighty, guys. So these are the two main pieces, and I really like how they came out. And like I said, I will spray seal them to finish them, but they do have a coat of finish on them. So I will get you some final pictures and see if we can do anything more with the sides of this. You know, and like I said, this was more of a test piece anyways, but, you know, I would like it to look halfway decent. So maybe one of the little micro brushes would maybe ouch. All right, I guess we're just gonna leave it like that. That doesn't look too bad. We got some color in there. You know, if my fingers weren't so broke out that I could really like get in there with my fingernail. So that's definitely working with my fingernail. That's the only thing with the mix to mold is it doesn't clean up as easy as like resin does. But, you know, it might have cleaned up a little bit better had I put 2 coats of the sealer, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. It came out pretty good. So yeah. So those are our pieces for today, guys. Thanks for hanging with me, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.